So, it's been about 10 hours since you left the safety of the Purity Gate, heading down through the mostly detritus-strewn tunnels of the Underhive towards the region known as the gantry. You pass the occasional person on the way, mainly sort of, hiding in amongst the debris as a sort of makeshift hovel as such. Most of them will sort of recoil into their little domicile as you go past. Assuming if you decide you actually want to challenge them, most of them just simply point you down towards the gantry. That they usually say that they've either been kicked out of the gantry or have chosen to flee for fear of a much harsher punishment than being kicked out. Over time, you start to pick up the distant sound of running water. It sounds very far in the distance. It's almost like more the sound you'd hear in a cave than the sound you'd hear in a city. There's that sort of that dank sound of water dripping down from cave ceilings and just that sort of distant echo of an underground cistern, basically. After that long journey, the cavern itself opens up into a massive open area under the hive. You can't see the ceiling and the darkness above you, but hanging down in the center of this enormous cavern is this structure. It's easily the size of about 6 or 7 hive levels in height. It sort of descends into darkness below, and it's joined to the superstructure around you from a number of sort of hanging, swinging chain link walkways, basically. It's obviously connected to the hive somewhere above.
Possibly gantries, even?
Gantries, that's it, yeah. It sort of hangs down like a sort of industrial stalactite. You sort of can't see the base of it in the darkness below, but you also get the impression that it may not reach to the level, to the ground below, given that it sort of gently sways in this sort of... It's weird. We're not sure where the breeze really comes from, but there is this sort of stagnant smell of oil and rubbish that sort of blows through the air and creates a sort of whistling sound between the various parts of hanging machinery. Clearly this part of the hive used to be multiple levels of hive. It's just sort of come apart over time, and now you've got this entire suburb hanging down from the ceiling above. The access to it from your side appears to be, as you'd expect, one of these metallic gantries. There are a number of individuals sort of hanging around near the entrance to the gantry. They haven't actually observed you yet, but they wear clothing that, based upon the descriptions you've had, would mark them as members of the Red Walk. Typical gang leathers, mostly coloured in red and brown. The majority of them carry knives, and often multiple knives, usually strapped to their chests or legs. Only a bare few carry firearms, and usually things like stub pistols, revolvers, maybe the occasional auto gun. Though there is a hastily erected, or not, it's a temporary emplacement of a twin-linked heavy stubber with a man sort of sitting lazily up on it with his feet up on the control panel. There is a wooden sign dug into the ground nearby that says no guns allowed, and a number of nearby sort of large metal crates that have got all sorts of graffiti and spray paint on them. They seem to be just talking amongst themselves in low Gothic. They haven't really noted your approach yet.
So, does it look like anyone's actually observing the rules for no guns?
There's probably about 4 guys in this group, so there's about 10 guys total, including the guys sitting on the heavy stubber. Probably about 4 of those actually have firearms. That being said, you could guess that maybe they are here to enforce the rules, given they're not actually on the gantry.
Well, I don't think we should give up our guns.
I also think that.
We can hear
So
distant sound
what's
as well
the plan,
of,
guys?
like metal pulleys moving as well in the sound far below. Occasionally you hear these sounds of banging, clanging metal pipes and pulleys and chains rattling.
I step forward briefly and I dust off my Arbiter's insignia. Well, I don't think they're taking my gun. Don't know about you.
Do you think that the Arbiters will have the same authority in the lower hive as they would where law is respected?
That is a good question. May I do a knowledge roll for that?
Yeah, have you got say Underworld?
Yep, I have an Underworld and Adeptus Arbites.
I'd go for Underworld here.
Okay. Any modifiers on that?
I'll give you a +10.
James, using
Nope.
my photo visors.
Nope, nope, nope.
Using
my photo visors to increase my my vision in this low light. Can I do a perception to try and see if maybe there's another way of getting around this rather than going through it?
Yeah, give me a perception roll +10.
Flip yes. Alright, so I just rolled
A natural 1.
I think 5 degrees of success on my underworld check.
Yep.
And a 1!
Yeah.
So what I can tell you,
So that's my
Cameron, is that you are
Probably
almost
older
entirely certain that the law of the Arbites would have very little bearing on these men, given the manner in which the Purity Gate was sealed from the other side by the Sanctuaries. Even they probably don't come down this far. I mean, there may have been attempts in the past to try and gentrify the region, but yeah, this is the Wild West basically. You'd be lucky if these guys had even knew what an Arbites was.
I take Darius by the shoulder and relay the information in as gentle a way that I can.
And my brow just furrows. Look, we're wasting time here. What do you propose?
Chris, you can't see a safe route from where you are with your magnoculus. Or so photo.
Yep, thanks for that, James. So I look around and I look back at Darius. I make a pointed look at his gun and go, never bring a knife to a gunfight.
Alright, so Kangoro says, down here, I believe that strength will be the most respected. Strength and stealth. So if our good friends, Brother Lucius and Sister Demetria, could present a united front and look like they are filled with the Emperor's fury, then perhaps we will be able to move through unmolested.
As he's saying that, I'm looking all around me to see if there's any good snipers purchased for me. I'm trying to basically assess this somewhere I can pretty much just sit and give them covering support.
Against these guys, you can anywhere. You know, you are surrounded by sort of drop-offs and handholds and all these sort of places you could easily climb up to and get a perch against these guys. I mean, this whole
Right.
sort of edge of the hive is really a giant sniper perch towards the side of the near side of the structure.
I look to the rest of the party and I literally make a hand signal towards a good spot I think I found. I tap my gun and I say, well, they can go up front. I can stay back here if you want.
Yeah, let's go with it. So, see if we can't just bluff our way through these guys. We're here for business.
We can try
Maybe
and charm and
Fabius
bluff
sent
our
us.
way through. Yeah, we'll get through.
Because we've got some names. We've got some names to drop.
What's
So,
old
we
mate's
need
name?
Dropping
to-
is so not gonna work.
It might work.
Oh.
What's old mate's name? From the charnel house.
We've got Face Spider that we're supposed to kill, and then there was one of them there that might be admittable to killing, like assisting him to kill him. Who might be on our side. His name, can't remember what his name is.
What was the name of that
You know what his
noble?
name is? the guy in the
Which one?
The guy in the manor.
Oh,
Care?
So
no,
the-
they
Furious
did
Care?
mention to you. Yeah, they mentioned to you.
the brother,
Sorry.
the brother that went down into the to the lower hive. That's who we're here to find. Because
Fane?
remember, because
One of
yeah,
the two Fanes, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
The name Omar Endish
Does
was
anyone-
mentioned to you as well. He has a manor in the gantry.
Omar Endish.
And what was his relationship to anything?
I believe
Is he
it was
just
mentioned
like
that
a
he had a position of power in the gantry.
Slumlord. All right, and the forgotten Fane brother, because one of them got murderized.
He's somebody of power down here.
Okay, so what's going to be our cover story?
I say we're
Our
just
cover stories never work again. Just saying.
well, just say we're come to see somebody important. Get out of our ways, or you'll have to answer to person blah.
Well, I
I
don't
say
think
we
that's
go with
gonna
Omar
work.
Endish then.
Yeah.
I say we go with
Good plan.
Omar Endish and say that we're looking for Face Spider, and then we maybe try and see if anything weird's happening with the Thanes, and say like word up top is one of the Thane brothers is dead, and we're trying to find old mate because maybe he's come into a lot of money. Oh, let's do that. Let's say that he's come into a lot of money, and then get people to like help us find him. To be like, he's come. They're like, oh, he's come into a lot of money. Hey, that's interesting.
That works.
So what you're
Nah, I
doing
don't
is you're
like
pulling
that
a Nigerian email scam on this guy.
Yeah,
I
that's
can
right.
see it working about as well as a Nigerian email scam.
Well, they can't delete us.
Yes,
Look, we've
but
got
1
bus-
in
we've
10
got-
of them
we've got
might
business-
fall for it, but the other 9 are gonna, yeah.
Look, I've got pretty good deceive skills, guys.
Well, yeah, we've got
alright?
business with Face
I've
Spider.
got this.
We've got business with Face Spider. Take us to him.
Alright. Let's go Face Spider first, and then
Let's do this then.
and then we'll see how we go.
Okay.
Fine.
So before everyone starts making their move, I look longingly at the sniper's perch. So that's a negative then.
Yeah.
Look, you can
Might
hang
get up close
back.
and personal this time.
All right, we'll play it your way. And I basically give the adult equivalent of a tantrum.
So you pout.
Yep.
So James,
Totally.
I've got no. The only ranged weapon I've got is my wrist-mounted las pistol.
Yep.
So obviously that can't be seen. But I'm gonna move my sword and my whip to the to like closer to the front of my robes so they can be seen through the opening of my robes.
Yep.
Clearly, as this is
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna conceal the plasma pistol and wear the stub revolver openly, so if they demand a gun, I'll just give them that.
Okay. What about your
Dimitri's
shotgun,
not
Mike?
handing anything.
I'll keep that slung over my shoulder.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'll use it like a walking stick.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's a walking stick, obviously. Duh.
hammer down or hammer up.
Well, I don't want to shoot myself in the face. I'd rather lose a foot, so barrel down.
I think the only unconsidered weapons in the group really are the shotgun and Darius' sniper rifle. They're the only things that couldn't be easily concealed underneath voluminous robes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's alright. We'll deal with
Alright,
this.
shall
We'll deal
we,
with it
uh,
when we come to
Warhammer?
it.
Oh, Warhammer's fine. It's not a gun.
Good. So I'm wearing it bravely.
Someone might say brazenly.
Shall we?
Bravely.
Okay.
So are we moving towards the group?
Yep. Let's do this.
All right.
Okay, let's go.
Alright,
We-
so
we do
everyone
that
Walking like
for
we're
group
meant
is
to be
going?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we're going as a group.
Darius, do you want to like maybe stay back and just see if anyone tries to like, if we get into trouble, if anyone like tries to jump on the twin link?
Oh,
heavy
thank
stabbers?
you. Yes,
'Cause-
I would love that.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Can I just suggest that we don't actually tell these guys why we're here? We just sort of rock up, act as if we're going to walk across. If they ask for weapons, then we might try and bluff our way through. But I'd rather we just don't tell these guys anything. They're just a group of plebs.
All right.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. All right, I situate myself in the back, then find myself a perch, and I keep watch with my photo visors.
Okay, no problem. Once you step into view, they see you, obviously. They all sort of get into, I guess, a position as such. Like they're not starting to draw weapons as such, but they are getting into a ready state as such. Like the guy sitting on the stubber sort of gets his feet down and sort of sits properly. He doesn't grab the controls, but just is a little bit more alert than he was otherwise once you come to in view. One of them, nothing really marks him aside as a leader to the rest, but he chooses whatever he can step forward and sort of looks towards the group. Stop there. I don't recognise you. Where are you from? What's your business on the gallows on the gantry?
Who are you?
I'm a toe cutter.
Why do we care what you say?
Because the red weight controls this town.
Well, shall I tell him that we're here to see old mate? Endish?
No, I don't think
Anybody?
Nah, just walk over it.
You look a bit lost, Upper Hive. What are you doing down here?
so. We're simply a group of travellers. We wish to just pass through into the gantry.
To where? The gantry itself is the final destination, unless you're going down to the sumps, and you're not the sort of people who go down to the sumps.
The gantry's the final destination. We're traders of a sort.
Alright. Well, rules of the gantry. No sanctuaries, no guns. You gotta lock them here.
Do we look like sanctuaries to you?
Oh, no, because if you were, you'd be dead already. But they're the rules of the gantry. No sanctuaries, no guns.
Absolutely, and fine rules they are. Thank you. We shall be passing.
Once you sort of start to walk towards the gantry without swinging any obvious weapons. Well, I suppose there's no obvious weapons other than the shotgun right now. The guy sort of...
Just the shotgun.
Yeah, cool. He pulls like a small knife out. Well, when I say a small knife, a big knife, like think of like a machete, that sort of indicates towards the shotgun. I don't think you got the message. No guns.
This isn't a gun. This is a holy relic.
I say to him, this is simply something my friend uses to aid him in his walking. Look, it doesn't even work. Can I make a deception?
Sure.
Deceive
Yeah,
check?
give me a +0 deceive test. He will roll his-
While everyone is making their way forward, does it look like there's anywhere I can either follow or any pathways I can try to stealth by?
Give me a
basically.
perception test. +10.
Here we go.
Oh, fuck yeah. So, I did that thing.
Alright,
It's
see
like
how he does.
4 or 5 degrees of success.
Alright.
I'm really good at lying, guys.
Nope.
He got 6 degrees of failure.
Shitty.
Harris, how heavy is that rifle?
Let me check. It's not written down on my character sheet. I imagine it's about
Mate.
5 kilos.
Okay.
Is it a sniper rifle,
yeah,
Harris?
Radio.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
trying to
think
find it in the book now.
I'm here in the book. Sniper
James,
rifle,
can
weight
I
5
roll
kilos.
awareness?
Yep, 5
Okay.
kilos then.
All right. I have telekinesis control. I can move an object up to 4 kilos and 20 meters away.
Damn it! What if I unload the ammo?
I mean, you can break it down.
I don't know.
A rifle can be broken down. So, I mean, they've certainly bought the
Yeah,
whole
but
the whole shotgun thing. So they're like, okay, well, it's a weird walking stick or holy relic, but all right.
Alright, break it down, Harris, and get up here. We'll just say we're waiting for our friend.
all right. Well, I will I'll unload the ammo. I'll tuck that away. I'll see if I can take off the scope. See if that can help lessen the weight of it. Shit, beyond that though, I just don't know if my character would have the technical expertise to be able.
You should be able to break the barrel.
I mean, this is, I guess, a good question for James. Would you reckon that I would need a good tech use test to be able to pull this off? Because if so, my character just would not have the know-how.
I'd say that your character probably has rote skills to do this. Like, you know, effectively you don't understand what you're doing, but you've used the weapon long enough to know that if I do this, 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 and this, then I'm observing the appropriate holy rites of the weapon's machine spirit. But if something like, you know, disrupted, or you had to do something out of order, you'd be messed up without a tech use test, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I'll so basically
detach the barrel. Detach the barrel from the body.
Yeah. I'll try to detach the barrel from the body and see if that's sufficient.
Yep. No worries. I mean but it's now down to basically two pieces that are, you know, less than a meter long. So you've got a long coat. They could be concealed under that, you know. So it would bear all but a physical inspection.
Okay. Although in the spirit of honesty, I don't actually know if I have a long coat. I just have an enforcer-like carapace. I don't have any other clothing / gear.
I guess it goes off.
I seriously hope you're wearing underwear under that carapace. Okay, so they're approaching on like a bridge or something?
Yeah, like a swinging gantry made of metal, made of chain, basically.
You now have a peg.
Guys, here's what I'm thinking. This could be hilarious.
Oh god.
I have a grapnel. I have acrobatics. What could go wrong?
Well, keep in mind, they're not on the bridge. They're on this side of the bridge as such. They're not actually standing out on the bridge.
Okay, right. So they're on the other side. So that wouldn't really do much. Shit. Okay. Would there be a way for me to advance? I suppose with acrobatics to see if I could. No. I failed on my perception check. I can.
Yeah, the perception check was to try and find a safe way across. So you can see, you know, it's a big gap. It's probably about 150 meters from the edge of the hive where you are across the bridge to the hanging gantry. So, you know, looking around, there are certainly support lines that join the gantry to the rest of the hive, but nowhere that you could easily and safely get to climb across based on your perception check.
Okay. I come in over the comms and I relay, look, I've got a pretty big ass gun here. Don't have much in the way of concealing this. Can you get me a distraction?
So I've got this hallucinogen grenade, guys.
No! Well, I mean, I could use a telepathic power to put a suggestion into their head to look left or something, maybe, or to think that they heard a voice behind them. But I don't know how much time.
Could you do like an Obi-Wan? You know how Obi-Wan like sneaks into the Death Star and he like makes it like a sound that was off like to the side. Could you do that?
James,
Yes.
would these guys down here, would they recognise the Imperial Creed, or wouldn't they have any idea?
They'd probably be aware of it. How pious they are is probably in quite a strict question. I'd say that the chances of effectively blathering them out of anything would be pretty minimal.
Okay, well, I'll just sort of turn to them and say, thank you for the safe passage. Now, please, everyone, bow your heads and say a short prayer to the Emperor. And I'll bow my head, close my eyes, and start muttering prayers and hope that some of them at least do.
I see the opening and I stealth. For dear Lord.
Give me a +10 charm test.
Okay,
Can I assist him on that?
Yeah, I'm happy to if you wanted to, joining quite happily.
Oh!
Is 5 degrees of success.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Kangaroo.
How is Mike the charming? How is Brother Lucius the charming one here?
It's clear.
How is this happening?
Kangaroo doesn't know the words
Look,
to the prayer,
I'm not
so he's
the-
just mumbling.
I'm not the praying. Kangaro's not the praying type. Okay.
Thankfully,
Big help that I am.
Thankfully, Lucius's role is good enough that they all sort of okay, this looks official. Maybe we should do this, and they effectively bow their heads and give me a stealth check at plus 20, Harris.
Hooray!
Oh lord.
Wish me luck, guys. Oh, 7 degrees of success.
Hoorah.
All right, no worries. You quickly, fly past them onto the bridge. You got to take the bridge a bit slowly because it is literally made of metal chains, rusted metal chains that cling against each other as you move onto it. So as soon as Lucius hears that, he quickly lifts the level of his prayer and slows down a bit, give you enough time to get across to the other side of the bridge unmolested. Eventually, the ruse has to be dropped though. But yeah, Darius has managed to cross the bridge without being observed.
Amen. Thank you all. Okay, let's get out.
Amen, Mike. Come on. Ave Imperator, I believe, is the correct term.
Ave Imperator then.
There you go. They make an attempt at the sign of the Aquila before you head off. Pretty much they just wave their hands in front of their chest. So
Kangaroo does the same.
the rest of you make your way across the gantry. It is. It's swaying over a black nothingness beneath you, as such as you climb across this bridge. Like to about halfway across the bridge, it's anchored in multiple places to the side you've come from, but about halfway across it is just a series of sort of 4 chains that you sort of have to balance your feet and hands on as such as you make your way across. You wouldn't want to be crossing this in a hurry anyway. But as you get a bit closer to the other side, it sort of expands out again into a more reasonable walkway. No need to make a test, but it is a harrowing experience for anyone who's not overly comfortable with heights. You set foot on the other side. You sort of see from this side that the centerpiece of this sort of mass that hangs down appears to be some sort of larger superstructure. Like it's not just there was something here that all this sort of material is accumulated around. So there is something in the middle of all this that seems to give it its structure. But it's just been built onto and onto and onto with these rusted metal streets, buildings, homes, shops, all manner of things. You see more Red Walk gangers around, so Darius needs to basically stick to the shadows as such, because it wouldn't be long before somebody observed the fact that he was carrying a long arm, and there are more gangers around that appear to be around to enforce the rules as such. They're heavying most of the people of the gantry as such, so kicking people as they go past or harassing people. They seem to certainly bear ill will to most people, and most people seem to be in clear fear of them as well. That being said, they often get into their own little sort of fights as well, either punch-ups or the occasional sort of knife gets drawn and they end up going at each other. So that they certainly appear to be obsessed with violence anyway.
Understanding that I'm not going to be out in the open, as soon as I cleared that original challenge,
Bridge?
I would like to put the bridge. I'd like to assemble my gun again.
Yep, no problem. So for the moment, the rest of you guys are talking with Darius. You're doing it via microbead because he's just out of talking range at the moment as he conceals himself.
In the shadows. Batman.
Nice. Okay. Now what? We just.
Well, I suppose we should find somewhere to get some information.
I also think that. Are we going to see if we can find our friend the slumlord Omar, or are we going to try and find Face
Yeah, I
Spider
think we should
first?
see. No, I think we see Omar first, see what information we can get, and then we can maybe he's got an in or something like that.
Do a little inquiry test and see if I can find out where Omar Endish is.
Okay, so you start
James,
asking.
can I make
asking
a
people.
roll to see if, if there's anyone following us or anything like that?
Yeah, no worries. Give me a plus 10 perception roll, Sam, and I'll get a plus 20 inquiry roll from you, Cam.
Well, I rolled a 7, so instead of 4 degrees of success, it's like 7 degrees of success. So.
Okay, no worries. Right. And Sam,
Wasting all these good rolls.
Alright, so Demetri doesn't see anyone who is clearly following the group. Those who are left behind on the far side of the gantry seem to be more interested in what's happening beyond there now, and no one else has tried to cross the bridge. So you feel that you're not being followed at the moment, and once you get into the city, you'll
Okay,
probably
thank
be further out of sight. Asking around, Kangoro is quickly directed to the fact that Omar Endish was the leader of this area. So that basically you get some sort of pleb who says, "Oh yeah, Endish was he used to be the most powerful man in the gantry until the Red Walk took over. He still owns a whole section of town in the upper part. We sort of call it Endish Manor. It's sort of like a mansion as such. That's where you'll find him."
I'll come back.
Sweet. I just missed all of that, but okay, cool.
So, short thing is that you were told where to find Endish, which is in his manor, which is a bit further up the gantry.
Awesome. Let's go there, crew. Let's check it out, gang.
Why?
Because we need information. Let's just go.
Yeah. I think he'll.
We're going to find out if
Yeah,
there's
that's
like
He's not very happy
crazy-
with you, by the way.
So, just so you know, James, whenever the group decides to go somewhere, I'm just following them. So let me know if there's any stealth rolls that I need to do that.
Okay, no problem at all.
Okay, let's head up there then if that's what everyone wants to do.
My thoughts are, if we speak to Omar Endish, we can sort of find out like the lay of the land kind of thing. You know, if there's any weird goings on, like we're still here to solve a murder from up in the lower hive in the charnel houses, and it looks like this Thane brother might be one of the culprits.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that looks good.
So should we talk to him, or do we want to like keep on skulking around?
I think this guy might be able to help us, because if the Red Walk have taken over his business, or taken over this town,
want
he
to
may
see him
be
go
willing
down.
to help us get rid of them. And apparently they're the ones bringing the corpses down here, or trading in these corpses.
Mm.
Yep. Good plan. Let's go. Let's see if we can't offer some assistance. In our
Yeah, does he
favour.
have much in the way of like muscle or anything like that?
When you ask around, yeah, you got enough successes
Yeah,
there.
like what's his?
People will say that he can protect his own property, but ever since the Red Walk took over, he basically stays inside his manor. He doesn't have, he's not going to be able to go against the Red Walk, but he's got what's required to protect himself in his own house.
What's the numbers of the Red Walk? What are we looking at here?
It's hard to say because the gang itself is constantly sort of growing and expanding, like bringing in young kids and everything as well. But people would estimate you're sort of talking a few hundred. Give me
We can probably take them.
give me an underworld test at +10.
Oh, it's already up. Joy. +10. Go.
Okay, I think that's a
so
fail.
good.
No, so you haven't heard too much about the Red Walk other than what you heard further up in the Gallows Way.
No new info. Alright. Alright, shall we head on over to Omar Endish?
Yeah, let's do this. See what
Okay.
information
Yep, let's
we
head up there quick.
No worries. Okay, so you start making your way up. The process of getting up is a mixture of following sort of roads. You have to occasionally sort of come out on gantries that sort of extend out beyond the edge of the gantry itself and then come back in again. So once again you sort of extend yourself over the top of the drop below, although because the gantry sort of bulges in the middle, as you make your way further up there's always sort of more gantry beneath you as such. But occasionally you have to climb ladders as well, or climb hand over hand over rubbish and debris. I would like Lars to give me a... Remember, there's logic still in second edition.
Yes, it is.
Logic test.
Will do. Modifiers?
I'm going to give you a... This is straight +0.
No.
Alright, so just, Lars, something about the architecture here seems odd to you, but you can't place what it is. There's something off about
Is
this
this
place.
the,
Something eerily familiar.
Okay. Alright. Thank you.
Right.
It's probably fine.
After about
Can I do a
hour-
Sunisians check?
Yeah, so you can do a Sunday check, sure. Give you a +10.
Why not? I can't see that. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah,
Alright.
many degrees of success.
Other than the weird things that you're carrying, there's nothing around you that creates a psychic resonance.
Out of curiosity, how does my little shard of something Xenos feel at the moment?
It certainly has a...
No different to before?
So, no, it's the same as before. But it certainly has a power that's still there.
Cool.
Alright.
Alright, thanks.
When you reach what, sort of you've been directed towards Endish Manor, it sort of sticks out of the top of the gantry at a sort of slightly odd angle, like it's not been properly constructed, sort of, say, 5 or 6 degrees off an equal plane as such, but it looks like an imperial cathedral, made of a sort of a grey-white stone. It bears all the various imperial sigils as such, although, oddly enough, it has it has windows, but the windows have been barred with like steel shutters. It's almost like they're not. It hasn't been added after the fact. It's like it had its own ability to sort of have large steel bulkhead shutters come over the windows in case of some sort of attack, which they're all currently down. Also, the cathedral itself has a perimeter fence around it as well, on top of which sits a number of relatively high-tech picked thieves. So, decent level of security. Plus, there are 2 combat servitors by the front gate, both of which have integrated heavy bolters. There's no regular humans around.
That's
on
some
guard.
serious tech.
Yeah.
Hmm.
there like a intercom at the front door or something?
Not that you can see from this distance. You have to go right up to where the servitors are to have a closer look.
Shall we, gentlemen? And Demetria?
Um, you can go first.
Alright, I go first. What's the worst that could happen?
They shoot you repetitively.
A lot.
James, does
Yes.
this cathedral look anything like the cathedrals which are elsewhere in this hive?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't bear the same architecture as the rest of the hive. It's classic imperial architecture, but it's different enough from the rest of the hive to be odd. The stone is different. In fact, as you get a bit closer, you realise it's actually made of metal, but painted to look like stone.
That's weird.
Lars, you can make another logic test at plus 20.
Yes, sir.
Can I do a common law architecture?
No, you don't have it.
Seeing as you have them all.
I do, I've got infused knowledge.
It's not, okay.
I've got all common laws.
Yeah, that's a pass.
Okay. You realise you've seen this sort of construction before on a void ship. This is like the cathedral on a void ship as such, like, an external protrusion that would have windows that could be open to the void but closed during warp travel.
What?
Looks like it's been torn from the hull of a void ship.
Rightio. So, I'm going to voice this information to my party that I'm pretty sure that is that was at some point part of a void ship. And from my knowledge, I don't know how to get into it. It's designed to cop void, be in a void ship battle and protect itself. So there's really little to nothing that we can do out here to force our way into this. So
How the hell would it have got down here?
I don't know. Has this place ever constructed void ship materials? Perhaps it was part of a ship that was going to be built and then was scrapped, or...
No, that's never been built here. It's a hive world, not a forge world. You suddenly hear a distant bang. First, your first thought is it's like a gunshot, but it's more like a metallic sort of whip crack. And a moment later, you realise it's more like the sound. Imagine a high tension cable suddenly snapping under the tension, but it sort of reverberates through the entire hall or the entire sort of expanse of this open area around the gantry. Everyone
I think
sort
the
of
gantry might be too heavy.
Yeah, everyone out in the sort of
cables.
street sort of like shudders when they hear the sound, and then sort of makes a sign of the equivalent and moves about their regular day-to-day activities.
That sounds painful.
Wow, that's unpleasant. Alright, I'm going to... Oh, Jesus, what am I going to do? Can we just go knock? Somebody go knock.
Yep,
I'll go.
I'm happy to knock. Dimitri and Kangoro, go knock.
Okay. As you approach the servitor, the two servitors, one of them has what looks like a sort of a wide circuit board, like sort of stapled to its chest, with a big red button, and someone has basically stuck a wooden plaque next to it, which has had "Press for Service" scratched into it.
I press for service.
Okay, no worries.
I watch.
Sorry?
I watch him do.
Okay. You sort of hear this sort of odd metallic sound coming from like a small speaker that's been stapled to the servitor's shoulder. And it comes across a moment later as like a very crackly vox. And a voice says, "Yes? Who is it?"
We
Hello?
happen to be honourable envoys from the lower hive. We're here to see Omar and Endish.
No more deliveries today. We're all full.
Just one more.
Oh, all right. Wait there a moment. I'll send someone to come and get you. And there's like a.
All right, who's going to play dead now?
Yep. There's a sort of rattle crack, and then the speaker cuts out. So you just wait there.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. After about 5 minutes,
What?
another servitor emerges from the building. So a large sort of bulkhead door opens up at the base of the structure. Probably what would have been previously connected onto the rest of the ship's superstructure. And an unarmed servitor basically approaches the front gate, gets as far as the other two, and then sort of turns around, stands with its back to you, while the other two sort of step to either side.
Are you supposed to climb onto it?
It's not big enough to carry you.
Onwards. Oh, it's gonna lead you, is it?
Yeah, as you get near it, starts to walk back towards the house.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna heave to and get up there.
All right.
Yeah,
alright.
just climb on.
Follow it.
Okay. It leads you all into the cathedral. Inside, there are various sort of corridors, but most of them have been sort of closed off. So imagine sort of bulkhead doors that could be sealed to prevent the void from the air from escaping in an incident on a ship as such. So you can sort of block off certain areas to put out fires. They're all currently closed. So you're sort of led through a pre-constructed string of corridors that all the doors happen to be open for, until you sort of get up to the top to what you guess is sort of like the chamber of the nave, where you'd have sort of the high-pitched roof of the cathedral. The room you're brought into is quite messy. It has the sort of trappings of nobility, or at least a facsimile thereof. So you've got sort of like a big wooden bed with a plush mattress, but it's dirty and stained and in disrepair. There's like a dining room table that has several broken chairs. The pictures hung on the wall that look like they might have been in a fire at some point. It's like someone. It's like someone went to a whole bunch of noble homes that had burnt down, salvaged whatever furniture they could, and then used it to sort of create a facsimile of a noble's sitting room or bedroom as such. There is a number of other servitors in here, some of which are combat servitors, most of which aren't. The combat servitors basically are just standing off to the side, not doing anything really. The other servitors are going about doing menial tasks, usually shifting objects around and then shifting them back again. Sort of a vague sense of repetition about it. There is a human man in here. He looks to be, by our standards, maybe in his late 70s, early 80s. He has long, stringy grey hair and quite a sort of scraggly hobo beard. The clothing he wears is of a noble style, but mismatched. So it's like last season's jacket with 2 seasons ago's pants as such. And it's all pretty much in disrepair and stained as well. Although, despite his whole sort of
a black jacket with a pinstripe pants.
That's it, yeah. Despite all this, he has quite a sharp look about him in his eyes. Like he doesn't, you wouldn't say this guy looks like a vagrant. He's dressed like one, but he has there's more cunning in his eyes. He looks all over as you come in. I don't recognise any of you. I'm Omar Endish. He indicates towards the few chairs.
Lord Endish. I sort
Lord?
of step forward and move to Lord.
Yeah, hardly,
Lord Endish is
yes,
someone who...
Yes, hardly a lord any longer. Please, take seats if you wish.
Please, Mr. Lord Endish, we all carve out the pieces of a planet to which we are able, and of course we all strive to reclaim that which we've lost. We understand that you have unfinished business with the Red Walk.
That's an interesting way of describing our relationship. I suppose you could say that. Yes, I'm at odds with Crimson and his group. Yes.
We may be interested in helping you in your situation.
What sort of help are we discussing here?
Well, surely anything that would destabilize the powers of the Red Walk would be a welcome addition to your current situation.
Perhaps a change of leader.
I mean, it's really that simple. Crimson and his crew have been here for several months now. I think that while Crimson is the, shall I say, brains of their operation, I never saw it to kill him because presumably another would simply take his place. I've come to terms with the changing nature of my relationship with the gantry, but if you think that you have a way to change things, then maybe we can do some form of business, but I'm hesitant to go against the Red Walk myself. I have seen the bloody mess that Crimson leaves of those who challenge him.
Well, we wouldn't do something
What kind
as
of bloody
outright as
Slice and dice kind.
Yes. Roughly, he tends to leave his victims alive at least for a few hours of screaming blood-soaked agony.
well, we wouldn't necessarily be proposing something as direct as an assault on the Red Wake, but if we could remove a few key figures, including, say, several members that we might be looking for, we could also be looking at this for an exchange of information.
Everyone give me a -10 awareness test. If you have heightened sense of smell, that will apply.
I do not.
But you can still roll though.
Definitely not.
Was that awareness
Is
plus
there a-
10?
-10. -10.
Minus 10?
Aha!
9 degrees of failure.
No.
Hey, I got it as well.
Okay, so
Lucius is like, this place smells pretty good.
Lars and Goro can pick up a
With our
faint
sensitive noses.
chemical smell on the air. You've got quite a few degrees of success there, Goro, so I'm going to say it's a preservative smell, almost like formaldehyde or something similar to that.
Oh, yes?
Is it?
Um,
Get an idea of where it's emanating from? Is it from him or from the servitors around?
No,
or
it's
kind
from
of
it's from the building. It's
pervasively?
within. It's pervaded the building, and it's only that you're sort of you've adjusted to the assault of senses from outside now that you've picked up this sort of distinct scent in here.
Can I just ask?
Yes.
This building, is it suspended on the cables like everything else down here?
it's mounted. It sits on the surface.
On so okay. Could I do a common law rogue trader and perhaps my knowledge with ships from that to kind of get an idea about which class now they've been inside it and moved around it? Have I got an idea what class of ship this would be?
Yeah. Probably something about the size of a frigate. Imperial, some sort of imperial class, like maybe a sword, or it's an older style, So you're not talking like a falchion or that sort of stuff. You're more like an older, like old style frigate. Maybe sword's probably the most closest thing you've seen to this.
Okay. Radio.
All right. So
I mean, I am a man
So if they've-
of business, so I certainly see that there is merit in your proposal. Of course, I have to ask, why? What's in it for you? Who are you, and why is it you sought me out for to try and solve my problems?
Okay. I'm gonna move to Kangoro and whisper in his ear and just go. That smell. Do you think it? Do you think the bodies are here?
well, I mean, what bodies? Like, are we looking? I don't think we're looking for.
I know, but like
we're not-
the bodies,
we're not-
the bodies are coming through. The bodies are coming through here. So if he's got the bodies, then maybe he's in with Fane.
Yeah. Well, maybe I say to him. Maybe we can say to him that we're looking for. All right. So I'm going to say to him that we're looking for information.
Yes, of what type?
We're looking for a member of a charnel, noble charnel household.
We don't see many nobles down here. Channel House, this is something of the upper hive?
No, this is one of the charnel households. So we're talking.
Oh, these come
much-
from the gallows way. These I think I know of I've never been to the gallows way, so but I think I've heard of what you mean. Then you would seek Faru Fane, is that correct?
We might. Do you know
That
where
would
we
be
might find
correct,
him?
yes.
Sorry, what was it your friend asked?
Oh, I said we might. Would you know where he is?
We haven't had dealings in some time. It seems that once I lost control over the gantry, Fane took his business elsewhere.
To whom?
Please.
Well, Crimson is really the closest thing the gantry has to a leader right now. I believe that Fane deals with him.
What exactly was his business with you?
He sent bodies from above and had them transported down to the sump.
Did he ever tell you why?
It was I never asked. We had a reasonable business arrangement. He required a service. He offered a payment. He made said payment. I chose not to meddle in his affairs. He seemed a reasonable businessman, to be truth be told.
We were to want to find Lord Thane, where would we do so? Do you know?
Well, I don't know. What I can tell you is that he would probably have dealt with Vornas Crimson recently, the leader of the Red Walk. I assume if he's still moving bodies through the gantry, that's who he's using. So maybe if you are going after Crimson, that you might get your answers there.
What was the name of that guy who... We were given a name by the guy in the boneyard. Somebody who's in the gang, who might assist us. What was his name? Anybody remember?
I don't think he gave you a gang member. I think he told you Facebiter was a gang member he wanted killed. But I think he gave you Endish's name as someone who might help you, but not as a member of the gang.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. I knew there was something going to help. I just want to make sure it wasn't two different people. Alright, I'm going to ask him, do Do you know of a member called Facebiter?
Sounds like a typical Red Walk name. I don't know what strange monikers they give themselves. Sounds like something they would use though. If you're looking for any of them, including if you're
What,
I'd suggest you not walk into their territory straight away. If you're looking for them, I suggest you start at the Sanctuary Gallows.
Sanctuary Gallows?
Sanctuary Gallows. It's a...
Where they string up sanctuaries?
Well, it's the closest thing we have
assume.
to a drinking establishment in the gantry. It's about halfway down.
What would be the best way to get the attention of the leader?
Probably start killing his men. That
You know,
will get his attention pretty fast.
All right.
Again, this is acts of violence.
Maybe a more amicable relationship.
Well, that's why I say if you're looking for him, I'd probably start at the Sanctuary Gallows.
I mean, other than their aversion to firearms, is there anything else about this gang that we should know that might set them off?
They respect martial ability, and look, they are not suicidal. For example, often when they fight, it's not to the death. But yeah, they generally speaking, most of their arguments are settled through a display of some martial skill.
How do they feel towards the ethereal?
What do you mean, like magic? That sort of thing
Well,
is.
magic.
Are you going to start talking about spooks and spirits now as well?
What do you mean as well?
I felt
Well, I mean,
as well.
are you one of those people who believes in things beyond the world that we can see?
Well, take a look at my clothes and tell me what you think. Of course I do. I believe in a higher power which guides us all.
Oh, well, obviously, we all follow the Emperor, but I mean,
What?
well,
Good,
I mean,
good
this
save. Good save.
this whole, demons and spirits. I mean, aren't these simply stories told to children to scare them?
Oh. So I just rolled Suniscience with a 1. I'm
Yep.
assuming I don't feel anything new.
No.
What's with all these great rolls? Can I
They're to balance out what you're going to get
trickle
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can I trickle a bit of warmth to like push some air onto him or something, like to like nudge him using obviously not displaying my full strength or anything like that. Seeing as I don't have any minor powers,
Okay, just give me a
I do something to.
just give me a willpower roll.
What?
Straight willpower.
Does this go horribly wrong?
Okay.
Oh, no, all good.
You're able to sort of, manipulate the warp subtly in some way, in such a way that sort of, he sort of tries to brush something off his shoulder as though he's just felt like an insect or something similar.
I wink at him.
Smooth.
He looks
All right,
decidedly
well.
uncomfortable.
Shall we be on our way?
Yeah, I think we got a little information here. Is there anything else that specifically somebody wants to ask?
Yes, I was just wondering if you could tell me about how you managed to get hold of this cathedral.
Well, I was a younger man when I first came here. I evicted those who had taken residence in it beforehand and made it my own.
So it's
So
always
you can't
been
tell
here?
me how. You can't tell me how the basilica of a sword class frigate made its way in the underhive?
Well, it came with the rest of it.
The rest of the ship?
Yes, the Red Sky ship came
Oh,
here
jeez. Okay.
generations ago. Crashed through the hive
So-
wall and found itself lying here.
Well, this part did.
Well, the rest of it forms the basis for the gantry.
Interesting. All right. Shall we tell him that we'll be in touch later when we destabilize the Red Wake, or something along those lines?
I think he can work out when they're destabilised.
Is there anything
Alright.
particular you'd like us to say when we meet up with the Red Wake?
To say to them? Not really, no. I tend to avoid them where I can and really have very little I wish to say to them. If you remove them from power, then I'm sure that I can work quickly to fill that vacuum, but I don't think it will be as simple as that, as I mentioned before.
All right. Well, you've been a very interesting individual to make our acquaintance, and we hope to be bearers of good news the next time that we see you.
Well, it's been an uncommon pleasure, I suppose. Always happy to do business. He sort of indicates towards the servitor, which sort of walks towards the door, indicating you should follow.
All right. So, shall we go to the gallows?
Yes.
No,
Yeah, let's head to the
so
sanctuary
let's-
gallows.
I think
the
that'd
sanctuary
probably
gallows. Here
be
we go. Yep.
the best idea.
So,
Okay.
Ono, does it look like this ship is still running off like power, or
No.
like now that
No.
I know this, like how much more of the ship does appear to be any sort of intact or?
Probably what's happened is the superstructure of the ship has formed the central core of the gantry, but all the external fixtures probably broke off along the way, either fell down below or are a part of the outer part of the structure in some way. It's certainly not recoverable.
I wonder if
Are you
we
trying
should
to
know
think?
what-
Are you
how-
trying to think
how-
that you're gonna
what-
like fly a ship out of the hive?
No, I'm not thinking that. I'm just
I
interested to
hope
know
not.
why. Yeah, I'm just interested to know how it like what foul deed befell it that caused it to crash into the side of a hive. It's a fairly major event.
Well, it sounds like things that happened quite some time ago.
Hmm. Interesting, anyway.
Certainly not in living memory anyway.
Cool.
Alright, so
Alright.
as we make way down, I'm going to ask Harris for a plus 20 stealth test, because it's quite a way to go while avoiding being seen.
Alrighty. Woohoo!
Nice.
3 successes.
Okay. You make your way down through the. If you occasionally when you go into the middle, like because there's different ways to get down. Sometimes you're going through the centre of the gantry. Sometimes you sort of go around the outer edge. Through the centre, occasionally you do pass through corridors or parts that you recognise, particularly Lars recognises as being parts of a ship. Although the corridors now sort of form like liftways because the ship itself is pointing directly down. So imagine the prow itself will be facing down towards the base of the hive, and the aft section is sort of at the top of the gantry. One sec, sorry. So you do pass through parts of the ship, but a lot of the time it's just the tacked-on components of the gantry you pass through, and once again clambering over unusual sections that are in no way safe. When you reach the sanctuary gallows, it's quite a large building, not probably part of the ship originally, something that's been constructed since. It sort of sticks out over one edge of the drop below, where the base part of the gantry begins to narrow back into a point. So the building itself sort of sticks out precariously, and sure enough, as Lucy suggested, there are a number of wooden sort of poles that stick out over the drop, from which are suspended a number of dead and decomposing bodies wearing sanctuary uniforms, suspended by their feet by chains from these poles. Otherwise, it looks like a happening joint. There are people coming and going. A lot of red walkers. Like, straight away, you can tell that if Harris wants to enter, he won't be able to stealth past these guys. If you want to sort of cover the building from outside with a rifle, you can. But if you actually want to go in, you will be going past red walk members with your rifle.
Now, are these guys all not wearing? Are they all not wearing guns?
Very few of them have guns, and those that you do have guns are usually like it's clearly not just on off time. They're actually like, you know, quote unquote working as such. I guess providing a level of safety and security for the place.
I speak through the microbead. What do you guys reckon? Cover fire? Do you want me to cover you guys from outside, or?
Are there enough windows for you to be able to cover us if anything happens inside?
That is a good question.
Yeah, he'd have to be in a pretty perfect position to be able to, you know, be effective through the window.
You might be able to cover 10% of the entire inside, so you need to be standing in that 10%.
Does it look like that? Does it look like there's any way I could maybe use my grapnel to position myself on a higher vantage point? Maybe get into a window somewhere? Does that look like something that could be an option?
It's possible, because it does stick out, you know, sort of over the edge. It's just going to be a nerve-wracking climb. Now, you have got a grapnel, of course, so you've got some safety there, but if something goes wrong, if you roll particularly badly, you could be looking at a long fall into the darkness.
We're so good at climb checks.
Are there any unsecured torches or anything around
Definitely,
here?
yes there are, heaps
Or
of them.
lights?
Yep.
I want to drop one over the edge and see how long it takes to go down.
It falls into darkness. You don't
So a long way.
you don't hear the splush.
Okay. I wouldn't use the grapnel to try and climb out over that. I really wouldn't.
Look, at this rate, just holding onto this sniper rifle is costing the mission, so I'm gonna see if is there anywhere that I can at least safely secure the rifle, somewhere that I could probably hide it away, come back out and pick it up on the way out.
Yeah, there's so the streets here are absolutely choked with rubbish, and just.
I guess.
Well, why don't you dismantle it and we store it amongst our robes and things? I mean, we can split it up amongst us.
Yeah. Interestingly, on that point, I do have other guns on me. Like I have two auto pistols. I have a bolt pistol, but I don't have a cloak. I just have the Enforcer light carapace. So, if someone has
you've
cloak,
handed that all off. Don't worry. Somebody else is carrying that now.
Okay.
I have a backpack.
I think both Kangoro and Lucius definitely have the sort of the way I picture them in my head. Correct me if I'm wrong. They are the sort of characters who have, like, you know, heavy storm coats, that sort of thing.
Robes.
Yeah.
I have a giant set of robes and a giant tabard. So if you want to wear a tabard over the top and try and conceal it under that, go for it. It hangs way down past my knees.
Mate,
look at this.
Just throw it in the backpack. I'm still carrying the backpack, so there's plenty of space in that. You just got to get to my back if you want to grab a weapon.
So I put my handheld weaponry in the backpack then, and I just look to see if there's somewhere secure I can leave my sniper rifle, as much as it pains me.
Well, I said, if you want it to be fully assembled, you can find a spot you can leave it, or you can break it down and spread pieces out among your compatriots.
How many compatriots would I have to spread that across?
Oh, at least 2.
Okay, I will do that then, because we never know if we're going to come back the same way we came in.
Okay, no worries. So you spend sort of 10 minutes breaking it down and handle the pieces, and everybody
So,
else...
to clarify, which PC is the one with the backpack? That's you, Larza?
Yeah, Lars has got it. Yeah.
You are officially my holster.
Pack mule.
Okay, I do that then.
Okay, it's done.
Nice.
Alright.
Alright, so we're going into the bar.
Yep, okay.
Yeah. Remember what happened last time we went into a bar?
Yeah, kicked ass.
You went to the bar, and as it appeared from the outside, there's stuff going on here. There are people drinking. There seems to be, along with the Red Wake guys, which there are obviously a number. There appears to be another smaller group of people here. So where there's probably about maybe a total of 25 Red Wake guys in the bar. There's probably about 6 guys who appear to be of. They're not wearing gang clothes, but they have sort of like they're clearly together. They're clearly in a group, and both sides both these two groups sort of give you the eye as you walk in as such. Like they're obviously observing. Here are some newcomers. Who are these guys? What are they doing? They're just sort of checking you out, but no one sort of acts in any sort of hostile manner. There are tables to sit down at. There are also sort of like stools at the bar. Yeah.
Oh my.
Sister is going for a stool.
Okay.
Because you can hit people with that.
Sounds good.
A guy who looks like he's had his jaw broken a few too many times sort of approaches you at the bar stool and sort of mumbles something that might be, "What can I get you?" It's hard to tell.
She silently looks at him.
Yep, she would, because I think that she doesn't eat things up. Yeah. Wait.
Yes, nothing that anybody is eating or drinking here looks palatable.
There's no way she would ask anything here, or probably anywhere else. She'll just say nothing.
Okay. After about 10 seconds, he shrugs and wanders off. To the next person.
Well, I'll order something. Wait up, whoa.
Okay.
Bread, cheese, ale.
He mumbles something and then puts a drink in front of you.
So all you have is ale.
There's protein in the ale, but
there's food being eaten here, but none of it's bread or cheese. It mostly looks like some kind of blackish meat, sort of vaguely fish-like.
Yum. I'll have that.
Okay, nice.
Probably lizards.
What could possibly go wrong? Right, you are served a plate of this.
Sorry, yep, go.
Yep, it's fine. Lucius is served a plate of what appears to be black fish and some sort of crisp material that may be chip-like.
Blind black catfish cave and chips. Perfect.
And he hosed into it just like he did at the formal dinner. He only knows one way to eat, with his fists.
Nom 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 nom.
So this are there people coming up to the bar to get drinks, or are drinks being served to tables?
Oh no, they're coming up to the bar. There's no sort of like
Okay, so I'm gonna wait for one of these, not the red walk, but the other guys.
Yep.
This other group to come up and get a drink, whatever. I'm gonna schmooze my way over and light up a low stick and then offer him one.
All right, he takes it. You're in town. Haven't seen you before.
Yeah, I am. You guys, you and your friends over there look a little different to the usual rabble here. What's the go there?
Yeah, we sort of, yeah, we used to run this place. Not so much anymore. We just, we keep an eye on comings and goings, newcomers like yourselves for our boss.
Is this Malpheus bloke that I hear of, who got put under the pressure?
Endish.
Is it Malpheus?
Endish. Manor Endish.
Endish. Is Endish bloke been put under a bit of pressure by these the Red Wake?
Well, pressure's not really the right word. They moved in and it wasn't a contest. They just took over. And Endish is a businessman, not a warrior. They rule by force. He can still do business though. Are you here to do business?
I'm always looking for new opportunities.
Alright, well, if you have the time, maybe you should stop via our master's manor. He's always looking for new business partners.
I'll do that, and I make my way back to the group, and I pass on that information that I've gotten. That those guys, the guys who look different, are the old enforcers for this area.
Mm.
So they don't seem to be particularly, you know, they don't particularly have any particular bad feelings about the situation, really.
They don't got beef.
Everybody give me a awareness roll at -10, hearing based.
I'm so good at these awareness rolls, though.
Sorry?
I said I'm so good at these awareness rolls, as referenced by my roll of 84.
Whoops.
And also
Somebody-
fail.
Did you get that, Mike?
Hang on.
I
Mike, did
never
you have
get
to-
that.
Mike, did you have to roll a -8?
No, it's just a...
Yes, I do not have awareness, and I have a perception of 22.
Okay, there we go, sorry.
Wow.
That's what we're not seeing. I haven't seen, okay, when you rolls. Okay, no, okay, so no one got it. Okay, no worries. Ignore me. Continue the joke.
Samantha, you didn't get it?
So you should know 22 now?
Oh, no, 60. Yeah, right. I saw it. Sorry, I read it the wrong way around. Rightio. So I'm gonna do the same thing again, but with one of these Red Wake guys.
Okay. So, what's your opening line?
So I see you're a member of the Red Wake.
How about
I
that
see you're
local
somebody I
sports
need to
team?
speak to.
Did you
had
catch
an
the Blood
exclamation
Bowl
mark
game?
over your head.
Did you catch the Blood Bowl game?
Okay, I'm just gonna say, ooh, I don't know. Gee, what am I gonna say? I'm just gonna offer him a low stick and just say, there seems to be a bit of a party going on here.
Yeah, this is always a happening place. This is best place to come and drink in town. Only place to come and drink in town. Where are you from anyway? You don't look like a regular gantry person.
No, well, yeah. Well, you know, I'm new to this place, but you know, I'm just getting an idea, getting a lay for the land. It seems like you guys, you know, keep a tight ship around here.
he sort of snickers at the apparent pun that maybe you didn't know you were aware of. You could say that.
No, I knew. I winked. I winked.
Yeah, so what are you down here for? Looking for work? Looking for looking to improve yourself. Looking to do business.
Look,
Everything in
I'm
town
a
runs through the wake.
entrepreneur.
A what?
I'm an entrepreneur and always looking for new business, and
What's an
I'd like to know
entrepreneur?
who the people are to know.
Well, as I said everything in this town.
Sorry,
goes
did you
through
ask what an entrepreneur was?
Yeah, yes.
I
Everything in this town goes through the
rechanged
wake.
that to low gothic.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to do business here, you got to talk with Vaughn's Crimson. He's our.
And
boss.
how do I get a meeting with this man?
Well, I can set it up, or at least I can get it set up. Best done at the at our, well, I guess our turf. I mean, the whole place is our turf, but at our base and such. We call it the Red Sky Ship.
Okay.
And
what's your name, by the way?
he gives some. It's neither toe cutter nor face biter, but it is another equally imaginative and friendly name.
Face splitter.
Yeah.
Something that clearly displays his
Thigh
love
chewer
for bladed weapons.
Teeth breaker.
It's still a few
Dog
hours.
Knife
before,
enema?
Knife enema.
It's still a few hours before night cycle. Crimson likes to be disturbed during the night cycle. I can send a runner if you like, if you want to make a meeting soon. Or do you want to wait till tomorrow?
That'd be much appreciated. And I leave him with it. I give him another low stick, spare. Now, like as I turn to go away, I'm just gonna just swing back and just go. Now I've heard about quite a one of a fierce in one of your members. It's a face biter or something like that. I hear he's quite impressive with his martial skills.
Oh yeah, no, he's one of our. I guess you'd call it like a lieutenant. He's proved himself several times in. He's a champion of all three of the martial disciplines.
I'm afraid you're going to have to educate me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, Crimson has 3 ways of testing a man's metal. We call them the knife lock, the red run, and the tangle with death. All of them have their own little risks, and those who really want to prove themselves will come out on top. But those who like to test themselves will challenge themselves again from time to time. Face bite is one of those sorts.
Constantly keeping up on his game.
That's it.
Okay. Alright, well, thanks for your time, and I mean, I'll just be here. Just send me somebody when I'm right to go.
Yeah, okay. Give it maybe an hour.
An hour.
He wanders off, chats to someone.
Alright, so I leave.
Thanks.
And go back and
leave. You join the others again.
Thanks for your time, he
I,
says to the bloodthirsty ganger.
Yep. So Mike.
Hey.
For your meal, imagine a stale, slightly off fish, dipped into motor oil, and then served on a plate.
Sounds lovely.
Yep.
Feudal world constitution will be going full throttle. I'm going to relay all this information back to the group.
Yep.
And I'll express that there seems to be a delightful initiation process involving 3 very unpleasant tests.
Fantastic.
Right. Alright, well, while we wait, I assume that I'm not stoned anymore.
No,
Or
you've been going
recovering?
now for like the best part of half a day, so you are well recovered.
Alright, well, I I go up to Lucius and I say to him, Lucius, brother Lucius, I have a confession to make. When we were speaking in the lower hive, I said some things that I regret. I was under the influence of a powerful narcotic that was given to me unbeknownst to me. I understand the severity of my crimes, and I understand that the spoken heresy is one of the most dangerous. But I hope that you can forgive me.
It is not I who has to grant forgiveness, but the Emperor. Say 100 Ave Imperators, and abstain yourself from all foods other than bread and water for the next week, and you shall be forgiven.
Let it be done. Thank you. Thank you. I bow my head and
What
look
was said?
sufficiently
I,
contrite.
I keep an eyebrow up as I look at him. You gonna lose some weight, are you, Kangoro?
I said, well, what I said was, fuck, we're working for a heretic. Oh my god, we're all gonna die. We're working for a heretic. And then Lucius is like, whoa, hang on. What? So.
I remember stamping on your foot.
No, that was after that.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.